today I am going to begin a series on mental health. Begin this series by doing a deep dive into where I am today compared to where I've come from and what I've gone through to get here. I've been through a lot of shit, a lot of places, gone through the system as a juvenile. I was adopted at a very young age. Mother gave me away. Father was never really there. Stuff that not your average person went through. The point of this series is to touch on mental health, how you can survive, why you should fight for the betterment of your mental health and your well-being, and not just give in, why you shouldn't cave. And I'm going to discuss all of that. So in the very beginning of our story, my story as it were, I was just a young kid, normal kid. Mom left my dad, didn't really know him in the beginning, don't have too many memories of him. Some of my earliest memories are me with my mother, her being a single mom and me being too young to realize she's batshit crazy. I didn't put that together till years later, but some of my earliest memories are fond memories. It was just me and my mom. It was just me and her. I had a mother. She didn't die. She's just dead to me. But in the beginning it was okay. So just to give you kind of an idea of how crazy she is, I'm gonna jump ahead real quick and tell you one of the major life-altering things that happened to me in my life was done to me by my mother. She put me in a home. She rid herself of me. In the 5th grade, I went to homeroom class, and my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Connolly, asked me to come with her. Clearly something was wrong. She took me to the office where there was a social worker waiting for me, and the day I left for school that day was the last time I ever lived with my mother. Obviously at 9 years old, I didn't understand that at the time. I actually didn't understand any of it. I was thinking about this earlier before I hit record, and I, for the first time ever, realized that I don't really remember how I felt during all of this. I remember bits and pieces. I remember going to the home. I remember the guy that was there working as a staff member that day, Chris. I don't know why I remember that. I have a really bad memory, which was also because I was in the system. Medication incident happened. I just don't remember. I find that pretty amazing because you would think this is something you would definitely remember, but I think I was more intrigued. If I had to give an answer, I would say I was not upset. I do remember me sensing there was something wrong with everyone around me. I didn't understand it at the time, but looking back, I understand now. This video is just kind of a summary of some of the things that I want to go into about this story and why I'm even bothering to put this on YouTube, because I hope it can inspire people, other people with mental health issues, to understand that they're not alone, that people do go through stuff. I'm not trying to say that I went through things that other people have had the fortune to not have to experience in their life, because there's many people out there that have experienced bad things, and there's people out there that have gone through some shit, and that's what this video is for. I'm not trying to put myself above anybody else or below anybody else for that matter. I'm just going to lay it all out and say that the main purpose of this video is to show that you can overcome. I can happily say that I've overcome some great obstacles in my life. Just to jump to the end to where I am now, I'm a single person, abstaining from relationships right now because I am not ready for them. I have come to the realization that there's one of two options. Either I've dated really crazy women in my life and they're all crazy, or more likely I make them crazy. It's me. That was just one of the reasons I had to step back and say, okay, statistically speaking, you might not be good at relationships, but I do have commitment issues and some other things that was gifted to me throughout my adventures in my life. So I'm a single father. I'm drug-free, alcohol-free, high on life. I don't smoke cigarettes. I work out daily. I meditate daily for my mental fitness. My physical fitness is I work out in my gym. Here I have a gym. And that's another thing, I've acquired through pure law of attraction. I have built for myself a pretty phenomenal place in my life that I am right now. I'm grateful. I'm appreciative of where I am and what I have and how far I've come. I mentioned earlier I'm a single father of a 13-year-old girl, teenage girl. redhead, if you know what that means. I mean, she's sassy as all hell, so that's a little extra spice in my life, we'll say, in a positive way. You know, she's great. I love her. She is my heart and soul, and a lot of the things that I do for her. The decisions I make, she's in the forefront of my mind, and everything I do, say, think, or act upon. She's not my only child. She's not my oldest, and she's not my youngest. I have two older kids, grown-ups, It's crazy. 19 and 20, 20 being my oldest. And I have a toddler, which is also a sad part of my life. It's one of the negatives in my life right now. And not that having a toddler is negative, the fact that I've only been able to spend about an hour of her life, and she will be 3 this year, is the negative part. That's probably the biggest bane on my mental health right now, is not being able to be in her life. Having had her with a drug addict who I caught at 8 months pregnant shooting up heroin, honestly can say I wish I had never met her. She almost destroyed what I've been working for over the past few years, and I almost let her do that. So I can't give her all the blame, because there's definitely some blame with me on that situation. But I can honestly say she's just not a very good person. She's a fake Christian. She uses that to, well, I honestly think that she thinks that she's a good Christian. I'll just summarize it by saying any person, I don't care how bad your drug addiction is, any person that can shoot up heroin while you're pregnant, it just goes to show what kind of person you are. I'll leave it at that. But that is probably the biggest negative in my life, is that I'm unable to be in my child's life because she had the baby. I messed up and thought that when the baby was born dope sick and had to spend over a month in the hospital because of it, the hospital was going to call CPI, Children Protective Services, and they would get involved, and I would swoop in behind and get my daughter, seeing how I had my own place, was working, and I would just be able to get my daughter like that. At that time, I didn't even have my 13-year-old. The hospital did not call CPI. They let her leave after a month and a half with my daughter. After being born dope sick, they let her leave, and she went straight to the child support office, straight to the Department of Revenue, and texted me, because that's the type of person she is, from the Department of Revenue, telling me what she was doing, trying to get under my skin, and it worked, and filed for child support and ran to Ohio. I live in Florida, and we've been in a pandemic for over a year now, and other circumstances, having no friends or family or anybody to look to for help or assistance or advice of any kind. I just, I want to say that I should have done more. I could have done more, and you could always do more, but I've just felt stuck on that situation. So again, it's one of the biggest banes of my life right now that hurts me. Another big part of the reason why I've been able to overcome some of the obstacles that I've overcome, I do have a service dog. I got Athena to stop taking that girl back into my house, because I would get lonely and she would weasel her way back into my house, and I would take her in, and then it would unravel very quickly. Never took long. I've struggled a very long time with wanting to tell this story, because I feel vain about it. Mental health, mental fitness, mental well-being. I think that's what I'm going to gear my channel towards. I really do think that is what the universe is drawing me towards. And as far as me telling my story and whether it's vain, I've decided that it's not. You don't have to listen to my story. If it's something that you are not relating to, then I blame you not. But hopefully there's some people that can watch and listen to what I have to say and the story I have to tell, and then not only can relate to some of the things that I've been through, but can see that you're not alone. Everyone has struggles. Some of us are lucky enough to sail through life. Some of us have to fight, scratch, and claw our way out of darkness on a regular basis. That is one of the things that not only have I done, but I've become masterful at, because I've done it so many times that I've turned it into an art form. When I fell back into darkness is because I was expecting to. And that's another thing I want to discuss, the law of attraction. You attract what you get. You might think that you're not. If you're in a bad relationship, you're responsible for what you get. If you think you're in a bad relationship and you're not responsible, get away from it, get out of it. If you're at a bad job and you can't stand being there, if you don't think you're responsible for yourself being there, then leave. A lot of these things are easier said than done, but then again, they're not either. But you're responsible. You attract what you put out. Whatever you're putting out to the universe is saying, sure, here you go. Here's some more. So I say that to say this. A lot of the times throughout my life, I attracted what I was getting back. Did I attract my mother tossing me to the system, moving on with her life without me? No, I don't think so. Children are blameless. Children are innocent for the most part. There are some bad apples, but where did they get it from? What is the reason that they decided to act the way they act? It's almost always the parents. There's exceptions to every rule. But I would say, without being scientifically specific, I would say 99.99999% of parents are responsible for the way that their kids are, either through neglect, through non-parenting, through coddling, whatever it may be. Parents are responsible for what kids are. And to a certain age, where we can't say that we're attracting what we're getting, because we're attracting what our parents gave us. I believe that, and I don't have any scientific reasoning for believing that, but I believe that I am attracting attracting from my daughter because she's not under that law. She doesn't understand it. People that even grown-ups that don't understand the law of attraction, they're on autopilot. It isn't until we become aware of the law of attraction. Once you have a greater understanding of that, you better watch out, because now you're responsible. Now I am responsible for what I attract, because it is what I put out to the universe that I get back. But I can't say at what age that I began attracting the things that were in my life, but I know that after spending so long in the system and bouncing around from children home to institution, to foster home, to group home, to juvenile detention center, at some point just expected it. This is what my life is, and then because of that, I attracted it. That lasted well into my adulthood, well, until recently actually. Within the past 5, 6, 7 years, I've been attracting negativity in my life because it's all I've ever known. And I've finally broken that cycle, and I attract positive now. Even when contrast happens, we have positive, we can attract positive, but you're inevitably going to attract some negativity in your life. And when that happens, how strong are you? How do you react? That is where I'm at today. Like, I learned to take the negativity for what it's worth. It's contrast. There's good with the bad. And how do I handle the bad is important nowadays. Like, I have to watch myself because I'm having a bad day. Woe is me. This sucks. If this is what happens to me. No, not anymore. Bad days come now. I embrace them. You know, what can I do differently? How fast can I attract myself out of this bad day back into the positive and move on without digging the hole too deep or attracting more negativity? How fast and how well can I do that? That's where I'm at nowadays. It is absolutely amazing. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to do this series, is because I don't even know what it is specifically, but I am doing way better than I used to. I'm more aware of my circumstances, and you can be too. You don't have to roll over and give up. You can fight. You can push on, you can overcome, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to inspire people, and I want to be there for you, because there's been a huge chunk of my life that there was absolutely nobody there for me. And if I could be there for just but one person, then I succeeded. I call that a win. I'll put that in the W column, and I'll be happy with it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, hopefully positive, but like I said, I'll take the negative with the positive. You might not get a response to the negative depending on how negative you are, but whatever it is that you have for me, comment below. I'm going to try to do my best to get back to each and every one of you. And I have a feeling, since if you haven't seen my subscribers, I have but 2 and neither one of them am I actually deserving of. I should have 0. One was a friend doing me a favor who doesn't even watch YouTube, and the other one was one of those people that says, hey, I subscribe to your channel, now subscribe to mine. And I don't get down like that, so I'm surprised there's still a subscriber. Feel free to subscribe. This channel at its beginning is not an attention grabber. It's not something that I expect you to be like, you know, falling over yourself for the next video. So you know, if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. I don't blame you for that. But if you can relate to what I'm talking to you about today, like, subscribe, you know, comment, and hopefully we can continue this journey together. I'd just like to thank everybody for your time and patience while I put these videos together. And I can make this promise. They will get better as I go. You guys have a great day. Whatever you're doing, no matter what it is, be the best you can. Keep your head up. Smile, because it will improve your energy. It'll automatically raise your vibration just by smiling. Smile more. You're not alone. There's people out there that understand what you're going through. And if you're going through a tough time right now, I just wish you nothing but blessings and abundance. And I hope that you overcome it, because you can. If you really, truly put your mind to it, you can overcome anything. You know, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.